Good morning. I'm Jenny O'Grady Giddy, a member of the Worship Committee for UU Catskills. Our minister is the Reverend Bob Janice Dillon. For our service today, we welcome friends, guests, and members to our online service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. At UU Catskills, we are a welcoming congregation for the LGBTQ community. We affirm that Black Lives Matter and that we're on the land of the ancestors of the Mohican peoples. We are a congregational affiliate of the Ulster Immigrant Defense Network, and we are active voices in the effort to address climate change. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious faith that carries no creed and welcomes all seekers. We are guided by 7 principles and 6 sources that encompass the many ways that we come to know and understand the world, the universe, and the divine. If you are new, we encourage you to visit our website at uucatskills.org. If you would like to be added to our mailing list, please give us your email in the chat box or online at uucatskills.org. I remind everyone that during the service, you are encouraged to stay muted, except if asked to unmute. At UUCC, we have community circles, small groups of members who live in the same area. They meet monthly in person or online through Zoom. These are the contact information for the board, the minister, the caring team, and Laurie in the office. Coming up this week at UU Catskills, Sunday, there's a grief support group at 7 p.m. Monday, the Board of Trustees at 1 p.m. To attend, contact Mark, the president. On Tuesday at 5 o'clock on Zoom, contact Donna Schlachman for the Racial Justice Working Group. And on Thursday, it's the Bedtime Story and More at 7 p.m. Upcoming services, December 19th, the solstice celebration. Come celebrate the turning of the wheel from the deepest days of winter and the coming of the light. Friday, December 24th, there'll be a candlelight Christmas Eve service with Reverend Bob, a service of lessons and carols, music and fellowship. Today's service is on Zoom. Our usher is Kathy Kasner, and a reader is Kathy Atwell. Now we'll have the prelude, played by Catherine Katabiani. As you will see, Catherine chose this piece by Stephen Sondheim in honor of this great composer and lyricist. Thank you, Catherine. Now we light the chalice in grateful, loving community. If you have a chalice and would like to get it and light it now, and then you can read with me, even in the darkest of times, may its flame light paths to courage, justice, and hope. Read with me the words on the screen. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love to all living beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. And we're now going to have a poem read by Kathy Atwell.
Okay. This is a poem by Khalil Gibran. Then a woman said, "Speak to us of joy and sorrow." And he answered, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. How else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? Is not the lute that soothes your soul, spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? And when you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that in truth you are weeping for that which has been your delight. Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow. Others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at the board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Verily, you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you are empty are you at a standstill and balanced. When the treasure keeper lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver, needs must your joy or your sorrow rise or fall.
Thank you, Kathy. And now I'm going to play a song. I've always loved this song, and I found this recording by a woman named Joy.
I hear music in
And now it's time for a story called Joy. You'll notice the theme in this service. And Kathy, thank you. Let me just spotlight you. And
Fern loved Nana. She loved her butterfly cakes, her mantelpiece mice, and her cat Snowball. Most of all, she loved her smile. But recently, Nana had stopped baking cakes. The mice were dusty, and Snowball was more like a ball of fuzz. Worst of all, Nana hardly ever smiled. "What's wrong with Nana?" Fern asked her mother. "I don't know," Mom replied. "It's like the joy has gone out of her life." "What's joy?" asked Fern. "Joy is what makes your heart happy and your eyes twinkle." "Like when we all dance after dinner, or when I get the giggles with Ernie, or when I go whooshing down a slide. Yes, a great big whoosh," said Mom. Nana deserves some whoosh, thought Fern. And if the joy had gone out of Nana's life, then she would bring it back. But where would Fern find it? And how would she carry it to Nana? She searched the house for a catching kit. A box with no lid, a lid with no box, a fishing net, and a pointy stick. Into Fern's catching bag it all went. That afternoon, Fern and her mother set off for the park. There would be plenty of joy there. No one would mind if she borrowed some for Nana. A puppy bounded towards Fern, its floppy ears flying up and down. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Fern giggled. She felt the whoosh of joy. She liked to catch the bounce. She tried to catch the bounce, but the bounce wouldn't go in the box. On the swing, a baby chuckled each time her daddy tickled her feet. Tickle, tickle, tick, chuckle, chuckle. Fern chuckled too. She felt the whoosh of joy. She tried to catch the chuckles. Then she tried to catch the tickles, but neither the chuckles nor the tickles would go into the can. When Fern reached the duck pond, a shimmer of sun sparkles rippled across the water. Fern smiled. She felt the whoosh of joy. Nana would love this, she thought. She tried to catch the sparkles, first with her fishing net, then with her paper bag, finally with a scoop from her saucepan. Finding joy was easy, but catching it was hard. Fern walked home with heavy feet. She loved Nana and wanted to bring joy back into her life. But her catching bag was empty. Nana was snoozing in her chair. Fern laid her head on her arm. "What's the matter?" asked Nana. "I wanted to catch some joy for you, but couldn't," said Fern sadly. Fern told Nana about all the things she had seen. To Fern's surprise, Nana smiled. It was the biggest, widest whoosh of a smile Fern had ever seen. "You don't need a can or a box or a net to bring me joy, Nana. You bring me all the joy in the world just by being you." The next day, Fern took Nana to the park. And this time, Fern's catching bag was full to the brim with Nana's delicious butterfly cakes.
And now it's time for the offertory, but I do want to thank Kathy Kay for reading that story. This month, we are sharing the half plate donation with People's Place. It's a cornerstone of our community, and they have a thrift store, food pantry, wellness, empowerment center, and community cafe in Kingston, and it's serving Ulster County. And while you're making your donation, we can listen to the recording of Catherine playing another Stephen Sondheim music piece, Send in the Clowns. Oops. Thank you, Catherine. So we're going to start with another couple of short poems, haiku, composed by our own Mary Stevens. Clear morning, my feet in a stream of sunlight, and the doe in the cornfield, followed by fawn ears. I'll stop sharing for a bit while I talk to you about the theme of this month. Doesn't joy seem to be a strange theme to be celebrating in this year? The year of personal loss, pestilence, drought, wildfires, floods, and then on Friday night, the tornadoes which tore through the land, killing over 100 people. But perhaps the UUA had this in mind when they recommended using joy as a theme. In times of trouble, we need to reflect on the good things in life that we have, like friendship and family bonds. Even though some of us may have lost loved ones this year, we are happy to know they are no longer suffering, and sharing memories of them can bring a smile to our faces. That's why I can talk to you today about finding joy, even in small moments, like seeing the new fallen snow on the grass this week, picking up an autumn leaf with multitude of colors in one leaf, yellow, orange, red, and purple, seeing a rose still blooming in the snow, and spying a bird's nest, newly revealed by the fall of leaves. All of these things give me moments of joy and hope, hope that new life is coming. As I planted 30 red tulips, I wish that Charles, a passionate and green-thumbed gardener, was here to help. But with each bulb, I thought about the spring and how these tulips would bring life and brilliant color to the garden. In this service, I'm sharing some of my favorite music pieces, a couple of pictures, a video, and poetry. I found that the writers were so much more eloquent than I, but they helped inspire me to carry on putting this service together. The Khalil Gibran reading was so thoughtful. I urge you to go back and read the words again. The package from Soul Matters, provided by the UUA to congregations, was very helpful. I found suggestions for capturing joy, not quite like Fern did in the story that Kathy read, but other practical ideas, such as use your camera, take a photo of something beautiful every day for a week. Don, you're really good at this and sharing your photos. If you don't have a camera, you could journal it. I like their suggestions of beautifying your home. Flowers are always uplifting to the soul. And in this time of mourning, my surroundings have been made much more cheerful and welcoming thanks to a number of bouquets I have received. Also, the many cards sent to me by UUCC friends and others have been a source of comfort and joy. Soul Matters gives us this quote from the well-known philanthropist, Dolly Parton. I always just thought, if you see somebody without a smile, give them yours. I remembered reading about the chemical effects of neurotransmitters in the brain when you smile, so I thought I would look it up. With a nod to our group of amateur scientists, this is for you, Vic. Here it is. When you smile, your brain releases tiny molecules called neuropeptides to help fight off stress. Then other neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins come into play too. The endorphins act as a mild pain reliever, whereas the serotonin is an antidepressant. I'd like you all to smile now, please. See if it makes you feel any different. Thank you. Perhaps the most valuable suggestion in Soul Matters is the idea that to gain joy, you have to give. I think we all know that, but it's worth repeating. Do you remember the bumper sticker? I seem to remember it was in the 90s. It was very popular, particularly amongst Unitarians. Commit random acts of kindness and senseless beauty. We could do something like Annie Dillard recounts doing as a 6-year-old, leaving pennies on the sidewalk for strangers to find and imagining their delight. But perhaps it would be more helpful to donate your time to a cause or a friend who needs a bit of help, or a congregation such as UUCC. I will end with a quote from Rabindranath Tagore. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. Now I'll go back to sharing my screen. I have a couple of pictures I want to share with you. There's a couple of pictures of what joy looks like. And as you might guess, this is Charles leaping in the air on the beach with his grandchildren. Joy, not just for people, but for animals too. And puppies can always spark joy. Oh. This is my little Lucy, and this always makes me laugh. She is so playful because she's only 1.5. This is just a picture of joy in friendship and accomplishment. This is Diana, who was pretty nervous about crossing the Capilano suspension bridge, and her laugh at the end is of joy and accomplishment. So here's a final, well, almost final poem. It's easy to get tricked, taken for a ride, convinced that joy is a possession, something to be opened just by us, as if it's a holiday special delivery, waiting for us to unwrap it and keep forever. And who can blame us, with pain being so prevalent? Sadness seems to stay. Why can't joy? But maybe it's elusive for a reason. Maybe it's something that was put here to fly, or better yet, to be flung, to be passed, not possessed, to be spread between you and me, between the ones who received its gift and the ones that have been looking for its treasure for a very long time. Maybe it's beautiful and elegant contagion, over which we have more control than we think, if only we share it, if only we notice that joy is not ours to keep, but ours to give. Maybe joy opens us as we're open to it. Maybe that's the way light leaks into our world. These are some of the tips from Soul Matters that I alluded to in capturing joy. And this is a bouquet that somebody sent me that's cheering up my house. Now we'll have a song by Ella and Catherine Catabiani. This is one of my favorites too. In Singing the Living Tradition, number 346.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Thank you, Ella and Catherine. Choosing Joy. And this is by Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer, whom I have quoted on a number of occasions, as did Jessica last month in the talk she gave us on native languages. Even a wounded world is feeding us. Even a wounded world holds us, giving us moments of wonder and joy. I choose joy over despair, not because I have my head in the sand, but because joy is what the earth gives me daily, and I must return the gift. And I'm sure every member of this congregation feels like that as you look out into the day with the sunshine and the birds and the trees, the Catskill Mountains and our beautiful Hudson River. We realize that we must choose joy. Time to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. The warmth of community or the fire of commitment, these we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.